Hi, I'm Rigger. This is You Are Right, and the teaser for you and just dropped, so you know what, no messing around, we're getting straight into it. Starting out, obviously we get a feel for the story of the girl who fell through the world, and we're putting RWBY in place of this tale. Narration tells us as much. When Oscar recounted the story originally for The Girl Who Fell Through the World in Volume 8, he stated the girl who fell through the world was sad when she returned home, and Osmond confirms it was because she wasn't the same girl anymore. The line we overheard him say was that she brushed off her bumps and bruises, for nothing hurt more than the loneliness in her chest. Fittingly, as we see RWBY mourning over Penny, and surely there's more to come. The narration continues to echo this, asking of the friends she had made and lost, would she still be the same when she went home? And it seems the answer is no. So, it really feels like we're delving into self-reflection, which is fitting given the girls are, for the moment, outside of the main story, and primarily away from reality. As themes, it's not surprising, but what is perhaps more surprising is we have all of these crazy visuals. And first of all, with that, I and other RWBY tubers should feel a little bit proud because we all kinda got it. The inspiration is indeed Wonderland, is what it seems. It's all but confirmed here, though I will admit that the Candyland look to parts of these areas is indeed a surprise. Real quick, we'll run through some of it. First off is RWBY's new friend, who according to reports coming out of RTX is named Little, and they can speak. The jokes on Twitter, of course, Stuart Little, but if we are putting RWBY in place of Alice, as I had suggested earlier, there's a good chance the first thing she runs across is a mouse, because the first thing that Alice runs across is a mouse, and look what happened. But after that, we have what seems to be a red queen, but we do also seem to have a Cheshire cat, though this was weird because I also thought this was a Cheshire cat, and their eyes are the same colour, but here there's 3 eyes on display. Unless, of course, there's 2 Cheshire cats in here and we can't see one of the eyes. Plus, we have toadstools in the back, glowing and weird, which is very much in some of the visuals people have done for Wonderland over its many iterations. And it, of course, makes me think of the hookah-smoking caterpillar. So perhaps he's around here somewhere. As for more visuals, we have 2 ultra-shaded, more realistic warriors that appear to be a male and a female. The first one really appears to be either Jean or someone related to Jean. Obviously, the burning surrounded by flames does not bode well for his namesake of Jean Arc, and all the theming is there. It has his pauldrons, it has his chest plate, it has the black underneath it, plus the helmet is even white with gold trim. It's all Arc stuff. Plus, just the simple theming of a knight is definitely Jean's deal. So perhaps, is this Jean's ancestor telling him something? Or is this Jean himself? Is this what his destiny perhaps will be? Perhaps this is a vision. It's Jean as a full knight burning up in Cinder's flames, as is his fate if he goes on the same path. Who knows? The flames of hatred, perhaps. All of these, I think, are really strong ideas for what this could be. It definitely has the feeling of an arc. It definitely fits all the theme we have so far, so be it Jean or someone related to Jean, that seems pretty likely. So be it metaphorical or literal, it seems almost certainly related. The next one, which seems certainly female with the hair and the skirts, it's RWBY's saber. As to who it is, though, is certainly not clear. However, there is a good argument here for Pyrrha, given the armor in general, and also the chains hanging from the head, if Pyrrha's chains were perhaps bulked out and made crazier, but, you know, that's a stretch. Perhaps some developed vision of her, or perhaps her at war if she's been fighting on this other side for however many years or whatever. Outside of that, there isn't too much to go on. The one thing that stands out to me, obviously, is this stick-like shape on her back. It's almost in shadows with the way it's lit, but it's definitely a branch or some natural shape. Perhaps it's the adornment for a weapon behind her back, perhaps it's something else. But I can't immediately think of who that might be. It doesn't ring any real Wonderland memories for me. It doesn't ring with Pyrrha for me, so I'm not sure. Perhaps it's indeed the handle to the Vorpal blade, or something that came off of the world tree made from its branches like a weapon. That could be something to kill Salem, who knows? Surely the world tree or the tree of life or whatever it is gives everlasting life, and Salem is everlasting life, so maybe they can kill each other, who knows? That's absolutely rambling. Zooming way into the hair, I think there's something of actual red in there more than just the fire glow, especially at the back here. However the hair is being tied and held together, there is something red there, which actually makes me think of like a ribbon. It actually reminds me of Raven bandana on her hair in that way, but that's just because of color. However, that just seems doubtful, although it is full armor again, so perhaps Raven, but really doubtful. No idea. Perhaps it is Summer Rose, who knows? Throw out all your guesses. Next, we also have this God of Destruction looking dude. Perhaps it's him, perhaps it's something of his design. It seemed pretty tribal with the mask and the stripes, and obviously the mask makes me think of how Grimm appear, as almost if they have a mask on. It seems to me, if I was to guess, it's something other than the big purple man himself, or a human. Perhaps it's somewhere in the middle. Or perhaps that colour is to throw us off and it's actually the creation of the god of animals. But I feel like if I was to give an actual guess, it's an inhabitant here made of the god of destruction's image and from his will, without being exactly him. However, if it is actually him, I'm going to be so happy. If the God of Destruction is here himself, I'm going to be over the moon, because if you want to see why, check the links at the end of this video that'll pop up on screen. I talked about this quite a lot. The other mystery is at the beach. It's the hem of this person. This one, I feel like we've seen it before, and I racked my brain. Though try as I might, I couldn't totally place it. The colour immediately made me think of the original Ozma. It's certainly there, the blue and the gold trim, but it's not the same. And it certainly seems more like a female, perhaps, like more of a dress shape, unless there was a long cape that was like this. Then I checked Ozma's daughter, and again, right colour schemes, totally fine there, but it doesn't exactly match. Although, given the relation of the two, that could be something. It's not the leaders from the past, I checked them, especially the female. The skin seems a little darker too, which is interesting. I feel like we've seen it before, but I couldn't find it exactly. I couldn't find what bell it's ringing. So, my working theory is it's the original girl who fell through the world. Though perhaps she's from whenever Ozma was originally from. With those patterns, perhaps from the same place he's from, born in the same place of the same time. And the reason we're seeing it is perhaps a story or flashback that's being told to Ruby or one of the others. Oh, and don't think I'm looking over the fact that those are also Jin's colours, or I guess all the genie colours. But don't get me started on the Jin was once human thing again. That video, yeah. But, you know, never know. Other than that, we have two visuals to look at, and that's Ruby in the mist, which could be metaphorical, but I'm also thinking perhaps again, the smoking caterpillar, perhaps showing her vision, similar to how Jin did, surrounded by the smoke and conjuring these images. Perhaps that's how you see the flaming people. Perhaps one being Jean and one being someone else. Perhaps that person, the flaming person, that's Ruby herself in the future. You never know. The caterpillar is saying, Ruby, if you seek vengeance, you'll end up like this, because it is skirted, how Ruby is always skirted. And Jean will end up like this alongside you. That could be really cool. That's a really good working theory. And the hair seems dark with red in it. That's like Ruby. Yeah, that's a good guess. But otherwise, in general, in the mist like that, could just be feeling lost in general. That's fine, you know, metaphorical, visual represented. Also, we have this lattice work-like structure with the ringing bells. This one is pretty indecipherable. We see butterflies, which have been associated with Ruby before, but that's not much. The real interesting part is perhaps that it's simply man-made, or something made. This is a made structure. Other than that, there's not much to glean. Again, it might be part of a flashback, perhaps. Perhaps this is part of the girl who fell through the world's memory. Part of that story. It did make me think of this image again of those structures in the back there. They almost look man-made like buildings, but zooming way in, they could easily just be wonky rocks to go with some of these other wonky rocks. It's very hard to tell. Obviously, the god of destruction looking man seems to be living somewhere, like a hut. Outside of that, we have Ruby again, here in some structure that's built. You can see paneling on the walls. And looking at something in a box that she either doesn't like or is disregarding. Again, throw out your guesses. It seems like there's a vine hanging off the box in front. Perhaps she's gone into some building she found and is searching it, looking for anything. She's looking in this box, sees nothing, looks up, and boom, jump scare from the god of destruction looking guy who says, "Why are you in my house?" Who knows? That could be pretty reasonable. Other than that, we have an angry Neo, and Neo is angry. Who'd have figured? She seems to be somewhere in one of the mountainous regions. Other than that, we just have shots of the girls, such as Weiss crying. She's allowed to cry. And then we have Blake looking around after meeting up with the girls. You can see them in the back there. And Yang being Yang in the reasonably cold bit. Unless it's some flashback to her at Atlas, but she might just be in the ice cream section. Also, we have the blurb. That again, there's a self-discovery to be had for all the girls. That's their greatest challenge, is to find themselves. And seeing if they're prepared to beat Salem. And they're not. So maybe they can get some help with that. Oh, and I guess the name. This is the Ever After. RWBY Volume 9 premieres early 2023. So that about does it. That's the analysis of what we got. That's having a look at the images. That's my first quick guesses. I think my overall guess is that Ruby in the Mist is the hookah smoking caterpillar showing her visions, perhaps of the future, and those heavily rendered images in flames are her and Jean, and that the ham of the person we saw is in fact the girl who fell through the world the original time and they're being told the story. And I hope beyond hope this is a physical form of the god of destruction, and they go into some of the things I perhaps suggested ages ago, but that's just a personal one, because hey, if my theory was even close, that'd be great, huh? And yeah, Alice in Wonderland. You know what? Perhaps it's even Al Jabberwocky. Never know, could be cool. Anyway, that about does it. Painful and harsh self-discovery for all in wonky candy wonderland with the mouse, the Cheshire Cat, the Red Queen, and perhaps the Purple People Eater. But overall, it looks pretty neat, very interesting. It's definitely a change from the bleak Volume 7 and 8 in terms of visuals with all the snow. The themes are pretty much as expected, being away from everyone. The place is cool, the other factors like the inspiration seem somewhat clear with the Wonderland stuff. It should be great. Anyway, this is a quick teaser, so here's your quick analysis. Until next time, my name is Rigger. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope I did alright.